that.
Yes, indeed.
Take me a little energy drink, man. Hell to the motherfucking yeah. Hell to the yes, yeah, nigga.
Yeah, we back.
Yeah. Thank you guys once again for tuning in to the Yunik podcast, man. We over here giving a unique perspective on the everyday life. Now it's trials. You know what I mean? We got a lot going on in life right now. So we're gonna be able to touch some of these topics, including the gas. What else we touching on, Navar?
We touching on living situations. We touching on the inflation as a whole. We touching on, we touching on, food, clothing, shelter, transportation, the necessities of life as we know it, up to date. That's some more shit.
That's crazy. Basically, it's everything that you should have been taught in school, but it's intentionally left out. You know what I mean? Because this right here is how the strong stay ahead, man. You know, we've been touching a whole lot of topics, starting with relationships and community, the fellas, and
absolutely,
yeah, and it's crazy because everything has everything to do with everything.
I like that.
And as we say, we always connecting the dots to each and every single situation. So what we face with right now is the gas crisis.
We'll
go ahead and start right there, man. It's definitely it sucks that we're in a society to where everyone is out to impress. So a lot of the actual truth is hidden. Social media has definitely helped fuel that, because before a person would actually explain to them, like, hey, can I afford $5 a gallon? Instead of even speaking about it, even if I could, should I?
Right. I think that I can answer that question, and I can speak for more than one person. No, no, we can't do it.
We really speaking to the masses, man, because
right on.
The thing is that I'm about to pull up some of the numbers, I guess, just to help people actually understand. The one thing that we were missing from school, unfortunately, was the main ingredient to succeeding in life, which was financial education. Without your financial education, one would feel like they had to bust their ass until they was able to retire. But those are actually poor people thoughts. Honestly, I wish I would have knew what I knew now, because it didn't matter what type of job you had got even early on. It was all just saving. You know what I mean?
It was.
If you understood how to save at an early age, invest into Roth back then or some sort, like that. By the time you 40, you're ready to lay it down regardless of what you did.
Oh, yeah.
Life's challenge seems to be impressing somebody else. That's actually what keeps us in the hamster wheel is what it feels like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if it wasn't for somebody looking to impress the next person, most of the things that we do on a day-to-day basis, or we go and spend our money on, we wouldn't want, wouldn't think twice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No second thoughts. You know what I'm saying? That's like, not even, we ain't even second guessing that. Absolutely, man. Yeah. For sure, for sure. Yep. Sir. What we got here?
Okay, yeah, I was just looking to see because I have not checked. What are we looking at? Yeah, we'll go to Gas Buddy. Not sure if you've ever used Gas Buddy or you're familiar with it. We're definitely not sponsored by Gas Buddy, but I do use them often, and they're definitely great. Download this app today because this will help you save some money when going to go and get gas. It takes your location and lets you know where the cheapest gas is at in your area.
Oh man, that's very helpful too.
Yeah. No, definitely download this, man. This is this point, this is the difference between life and death.
Absolutely. And you know, as they say, a penny saved is a penny earned. So go and save some pennies, man, so you can earn that.
Exactly. All right, so we got let's see what the highest is. The highest is, of course, California, $5.72 a gallon, dog. That is crazy.
Damn, that's probably for the regular too.
Yeah, no, yeah, this is gonna be straight Reggie, homie. We ain't got no meds in this one. This is straight Reggie.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and then what we got? We got Nevada. Damn, Nevada doing it. You know that was the safe haven, man. They up there. We got
what they right
Georgia.
behind.
Georgia is $4.28, was I guess compared to the rest of it. That ain't bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, just even with the gas, man, what actually upset me about that, just to let the viewer knows, I am in the middle of all political, whatever. I don't care who's in there. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't side with none of them. I side with policies. You know what I mean? And what's best for the economy and community. Now, the one thing I didn't understand is I had seen the thing with Biden. He lined up his answers. To me, was like they really don't give a F. The first thing he said, he stated how they had sent X amount of $1 billion over to help Ukraine, and then follow that sentence up by saying that our gas prices were going to go up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then diverted or threw the attention off of themselves by saying that there were 9,000. The gas companies have like 9,000 leases that they, in property or whatever that they can go and drill on if they choose to, or if they had chose to. And that's where I stand on something like that. I don't think that the things that are necessities in our life, if you're going to govern us. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that means that the main things that we need should not be in the hands of a company. How do you feel? How do you you know what I mean? Because it's like it's the same thing. Like why rent is going up so high? It's an opportunity for a business.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Why is gas going up? As they stated that, hey, they could have been drilling, but this is an opportunity to be able to 9 times out of 10, get some of that money back from 2020 when we were shut down. They weren't really able to make money. So they love this, but how does it benefit the economy, And then the other question is, do they even really want to help it?
No.
Who do they want to help?
Very important. Very important question. And I think that's the question that's ringing in a lot of us Americans' heads. That's the light bulb comes up on the top and everybody like, huh? What? Yeah. These people are, we are in a demonocracy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
No typo either. Yeah. So, it's so the power is within the confines in the hands of the people. The why are the people suffering so much per policy? You know what I mean? It goes back to uh, what we discussed earlier off the record. It's people at round tables in suits that wake up every day. Like-minded people, usually older gentlemen of another color, and they sit back and they figure out how to figure us in. You know what I mean? How can we figure them into the agenda? When you're getting figured in, you know what I'm saying? You're getting figured out at the same time, which means, hey, don't expect too much from these policies. Even though me, you, him, and her selected you as the top official to run our business, what are you really doing? You running it into the ground as far as we concerned.
Yeah.
You feel me?
And dog, that's where, kids, you not, trying to hone in on our target market, you know what I mean, or target audience. In all honesty, man, it's everything from 13 to, I say, 27. Everybody above that age, you know what I mean, you hear there's going to be very few of us that can listen to this message right here and be willing to assist. And that goes into America is deemed as a narcissistic country. You know what I mean? Everybody in here was bred to be a narcissist and really can't even understand what it means because you are a narcissist.
Psychology.
Yeah. So it's like for us really to understand, and like this message is for the younger generation. Everybody ahead of you, above you, the ones you see on TV, they've led you guys into a burning building, period and point blank. There's no other way of looking at it. Now there is some psychology behind it, and that's the accountability. For those that there are your elders that know right from wrong, but in order to do so, they would have to admit that they're wrong, and most people will just continue on the path that they're going instead of turning back around and telling you guys, you know what I mean, don't put your foot into the building that we're in because we're on fire. And that's from everything from how this system was set up. I visualize it as an upside down pyramid. 2020, during the pandemic, we actually got to see, and I feel sad for the essential workers. You know what I mean? The essential workers, which are deemed on the very bottom of the pyramid, were the only thing that actually held this structure together. If it was a building, you would call them the foundation, and the foundation is not the weakest part of a structure. It is the strongest. So,
Absolutely.
it's truly for the younger generation. That's what I want their ears. Yeah,
Gotta get them on the page, man. Gotta get them on the page because, as you say, we're only as as strong as our youngest link. Really, to be honest, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's school these boys up, man. School them up, boys and gentlemen and ladies. Schooling y'all up.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna show this right here, man, because this is sad. Because this right here sad. Is this is what the rent has been. Of course, say back in 1970s, 1940s. Now, this is a sad thing, right? Because most of the people that's actually in power right now are coming from these ages right here between 40 and 70s, right? So these are the ones, they actually had an opportunity to get a good start in life. They were able to go and pick up a job, and it made sense. That American dream that we were fed by our parents was given by their parents. And I feel like the millennials were blessed to be in the middle of all this mayhem because we can look forward and see where they screwed up, and we can look back and see how lost everybody is. So literally we are the medium. in this situation. So that's why me and the board, we take it so seriously. We got kids that's going to grow up in this, and I'm kid you not, man. I'm perplexed, at the lack of what's the word? The lack of empathy for the younger generation. You just it's not here. It's the ones 30 on up, that are throwing plastic bottles everywhere, drinking up all the water. They, you know what I mean? Like destroying all the trees.
Yes. Right.
Because I can remember when I think it was like second or third grade. In science class, I remember when they were breaking down exactly how many trees were being broken down, and it's sad because I was writing this shit on a piece of paper. But how many trees are being broken down, and then how long it takes for a tree to regrow. You know what I mean? And it was okay. So basically, the scientists, when I was in third grade, understood they had a formula for when we would, for when the ecosystem would become unbalanced. And up to this point, we have not seen any drastic changes to try to fix it, prevent it. And I speak to people all the day, and it's sad. You know what I hear when I ask people about shit like this whenever they're a little bit older? Well, just you just got to live your best life until it's done, And this is where they throw it off on God. Well, it's in the Bible, So these are times that we're going to come regardless. Cool beans, I give you that. But you don't force the issue. True indeed. No, go ahead.
No, I've said, you don't expedite. It's like, okay, everybody know they has their date, but why expedite it for the sake of just what? Nothing. Like, people just want to rush to the grave.
Well, it's a lot of them, coming from the 40s and 70s, they would feel like, and they're justified for it. Hey, I've lived my life, and that you have, but in the same token,
I'm just happy to be free, and be able to go places that I couldn't go. Yeah, certain little nuggets here and there. Hey, I'm content, right? I'm comfortable, right? Okay. Well, I don't know if we can afford to be that comfortable. I just don't know.
And the thing is, we can't. You know what I mean? Because I want to look at from. We're going to go from just 20 years now, from 2000 to 2020. The average rent has went from $600 to $1,100, and this is from 2020, so they haven't caught up to now. I think the average rent is about $1,200 to $1,400. You know what I mean? Then you got to understand at 11, what type of neighborhood are you going to be in? These are problems, and I don't care about no Ukraine war. I'm just 100. Y'all can do whatever y'all want to do, pick each other off. I don't care. And at times, this is where, like I said, we're bred to be narcissistic. This is where my narcissism comes in, you know what I mean? And it's beneficial because I would rather for me to turn on the news and this is the only thing that we're speaking of and how to fix it.
Right.
Stuff like this is swept up under the rug. When was the last time, you know what I mean? Like, these are the real issues. Yeah. Wages have been stagnant. You know what I mean? I'm going to pull up something. I'm going to keep this up, but I want to pull up what the wages have been, and that's where the problem comes in. The way that they phrase it is like, hey, well, inflation has only went up X amount, but factor it all in. Food has went up, gas has went up, rent has went up. What other major bill we have?
What you say? That's food, clothing, shelter, transportation. That's gas.
Went up. Yep.
So, and the whole necessities of life.
And how much has wages went up? That's the thing. I know I had seen something like the average wage from, say, back in the 70s to now has not changed much. And we talking about the 70s when I was able to fucking pay rent for $108 compared to a whole extra $1,000. You know, and it's sad because what we had was the elders looking down at the millennials and were complaining, saying that we were lazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If I could work 8 hours a day and I was able to see what I was working for, and it was not going out to every money hungry business out there, pulling every penny from me, then I would feel some type of motivation. But we're in a situation to where, you know, how we started a lot of this is why are men falling back from society? It's coming to the point to where it's like, in order to survive, you're gonna be a slave.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why did people fight to abolish that hundreds of years ago? If we're gonna fast forward it to now and be able to change the form and the face of it, but it's the same. It's the same, oppressive system in place to keep us psychologically and mentally back in the 1890s, man. You know what I mean? What's the point? What is the point? We're supposed to be moving forward as a human species. This ain't got no gender, man. This is a human experience we live in. All right, you affected, I'm affected. Let's get these solutions together. But y'all rather do other things that y'all feel is more important or just as important as, hey, let me figure out, you know what I mean, how to move this needle a little bit towards that direction. You know what I mean? The direction of life, the direction of sustainment, the direction of, hey, we want our children to have something, worth something in due time. Let's get to it, y'all. Take some action.
Yeah. Now, see, because this right here, this goes in with what we were looking at from the average rent by year. They're saying that new analyst reveals 20 years of stagnant wage growth for American workers. You know what I mean? Now, if you can't put two and two together, which I am saying, and there's no offense to my women, but our brains think the same. This is all anecdotal from my experience, from my conversations. I rarely meet a woman that thinks 20 years ahead. You know what I mean? So everything is just based off of what they're shown in front of their face. And the thing is, I can't just put them, because now we have majority of the men. The men have been, they think like women, in that sense. Because as a man, as a leader, and this is why we always speak, it's not putting anybody down from their education. It's just, you can't speak of a leader and following the path in the same sentence. It makes zero sense. Yeah. A leader is going to actually dig down and see how to lead his people. It's not taking somebody else's direction. And we all know, and this has no color to it, we all were brought here for a reason, to build their businesses. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into this. Washington, March 25th, 2021. American workers have seen their real earnings grow by less than 10% over the last 2 decades, with the growing racial gap where gains by Black workers are half that of their white counterparts, according to new earnings data released by whatever they are. Today launched a new measure of economic performance called the Truly Weekly Earnings. The True. And that's messed up. So what was they giving before? Which is designed to provide a clearer picture of worker earnings than the median weekly earning report released quarterly by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Unlike the BLS report, LISEP includes all members of the workforce, including unemployed and part-time workers. To arrive at a more realistic measure of worker median earnings and their growth over time. Let me skim through this chart. I just want to get to the damn juice.
Yeah.
Ludwig, whatever, added that because the BLS uses the median weekly earnings of only full-time wage earners, the BLS report is biased upward during recessionary times when low and moderate income earners lose their jobs or have their hours reduced. Report for the fourth quarter of 2020 shows a median weekly wage of $797 or $41,000 annually. This is about 20% lower than the BLS report rate of $984 a week. And and that's the thing. Having them in between us, they put numbers, and everybody's riding off of ego. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you have majority of people pretending that they're doing good. I remember the last place I was at, man. It's crazy. I caught on to the education through observation.
Yes.
3 weeks, 3 weeks out of the first 3 weeks, every Friday, Saturday, it was easy for me to find a parking spot on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Come that fourth week, everybody was there, and it was hard for me to find the parking. Connect the dots. Way more people were living check to check than they even allow us to understand. You know what I mean? I was in a extremely nice neighborhood. It was even them. Wow. It was the high earners that were still living paycheck to paycheck.
Sheesh. Yeah. Changed the complexion of that a little bit, right? They thought it was just this. No, this is all around the board type of deal, right?
Yep. That was them. It wasn't me. Yeah. So yeah, you know what I mean? Like these are the stories that we're not coming together speaking of. I don't believe in working harder. You know what I mean? Not when the only thing we're doing is making other companies richer. We can sit here and convince each other like, hey, you know what I mean? Break your back to be able to pay this. Or do you come together to regulate it?
Right.
I've been seeing stories on the news, man, of people that unfortunately, the elders. I know it's going to hit the younger generation even more, because you still trying to get your start. And the thing is that with, say, us Black folks, we don't work together. So you're having Black families push their kids out into this type of society. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where rents are, just the cost of living is way beyond most people's reach.
It's total mismanagement of power, and it's a total slap in the face to the people who put y'all in office, man. Take care of y'all people like y'all vowed to do during the whole campaign, and when y'all get in office, y'all just forget about that whole part. Ironically, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
It's like even looking at this and the same. It's like they understand that we're that ignorant, right? We're just saying that the wages haven't went up. What they say, more than less than 10%, right? When you look back at this, man, from 2000, each year, understand what 3% actually means. 3% plus 5%. So let's add this up. That's 5, 8, 11, 12, 14, 17, 20, 25, 28, 31. We'll just add that out, 32, because all the rest. 35, 37, 39, 42, 47, 50, 53, 56, 60%, more than 60%.
That is
That's 20
staggering.
years. Now see, and this is where financial education, why they would leave it out of our school. You know, it's easy to tell somebody that, hey, the cost of living goes up 3%. You know, do you understand that it's actually 3%? It's like a credit card. You know what I mean? It's 3% every year. So if it's 900, it's that 3% of that. But then once that 3% is added on top of that, it's the the extra 3 or whatever they choose to the next time. So each time it's even more and more and more. And collectively, within the past 20 years, it has went up by, what did I say, 60%?
Yes. 60.
And wages have went up less than 10%. You know what I mean? Like, that's that make it make sense. And this is where it's hard for me and Navar to sit here because when we say that we're not at war with a person, let alone a woman, like what we're dealing with right now is way deeper. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now, I get upset because can't nobody, won't nobody, they refuse to view life for what it is. A lot of that come from my parents, man. It's like, oh, we just, you know what I mean, hunker tight, you know what I mean? Like, just live what, man? We getting and we smiling.
Yeah, willingly with no lubricant whatsoever. They ain't even taking it easy on me.
At all.
Very forceful. Very forceful. And why do we deserve that? Well, we allow. I heard somebody say, hey, man, people will do what you allow them to do. You can do that on one person, but if this person and that person, it's harder to penetrate that super glue. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So. I heard Jeep. I believe Jeep is GMC, man. If you look at how much a Jeep was a couple years ago to where it's now, the statement that they made is that our customer wants to pay this price. You know what I mean? Now, I hate to call anybody stupid, but if you choose to pay a higher price just to be it has to be just a flex, just to be like, okay, well, yeah, I paid, which I see people doing. I paid this for this, so it makes it more valuable to you. Now it makes you, who you are on the inside, less valuable to our society, to this life.
Yeah, don't misinterpret that. Like, let's keep it in the street, right?
Yeah, because it's everything like that that's actually making it hard for the average person. Companies have already, and that's who I see is behind all this. You know what I mean? I understand the government has their own agenda. The only thing that they care about is keeping control. You know what I mean? But the giving us a stiffy, that's just companies, man. Now the government is allowing it, but it's wrong. So then I go back to, you know what I mean? Like, had you ever sat back and thought about, well, you know what I mean, just to hear from 2020 to 2020, and actually it's went up even more. So we say it's 60, but it's probably close to 70 now.
Right.
But I know we feel the crunch, but had you actually sat back and thought about how much of an increase it was?
Man, I did, and what I thought, I didn't anticipate it being that high of an increase, but going through the motions of going through, flowing through life from that time to this point, I knew it was an increase, but I had no idea it was increasing at that alarming rate. You know what I mean? And now we had an astronomical 62% probably as we speak right now, from 2020 to now. I mean, who can afford? I don't know many people that can afford to, and I'm factoring in people making more on jobs, getting freaking raises every year. You know what I'm saying? Even okay, we give you a raise every year. That still doesn't equate to it. It's still like It's like moving the needle. Like you trying to get closer to something, and that's something you're trying to get closer to is moving at the same time you moving. You're never gonna reach it. You're never gonna reach it. So I equate that to that type of thing. It's like y'all moving the needle. It's like the the guy who if you had the pork chop you trying to feed the mad dog, and every time you jump up, you pull it up just a little further.
Pull it up,
So
yeah, and
so
that's exactly what it is. And it's honestly that's where say the younger generation we're literally being outpriced even for buying a home. You know what I mean? Because the prices are, and I'm about to do the math just so that you guys can see. I do this every day, so I understand exactly how it actually how it runs.
mm-hmm.
Let me pull this up. All right. Now, this right here is what I call sad. And I have always had, I guess, just a little backstory of who I am and what motivates me. I have always took up for the less fortunate, right? If you weren't able to defend yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And how I look at corporations, when anything that I even mention on any one of these podcasts, what motivates me, where my anger is actually geared towards is always companies, man. I hate them. You know what I mean? It's just like internet. I hate the fact that majority of you guys are being raped. They lie to people because, of course, they don't understand the difference between an Mbps and an MB. I mean, what is it, GBPS and a GB?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they will upsell everybody that calls in there. And what's sad is that knowing that they call it what they want. We're in a recession. We're just coming out of a pandemic. People need to save as much as they can. And the average cable bill is $185. The average.
Tragic.
I mean, I remember back in the day, it was 30 to 50.
Yes, it was.
Then I'll dig deeper. What pisses me off even more is that they're convincing us to pay for our own programming.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because you understand that the media is how they control. That's how they push their messages. They've even convinced us to pay overpriced for every flaw that we've adopted.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's all TV is. It's organized propaganda machine. Our grandfathers used to tell us. We just didn't understand it. What they used to call it, the devil tube or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They wasn't silly.
The tell lie vision. All that shit.
But man. All right, so we're gonna take the average rent in Atlanta, $17.90, right? $17.90. Now you see that, of course, what we're going off from what we just seen, 2020. The average rent they said was $1,100. Like I said, I'm sure and that's because they're averaging everywhere. The main cities, which everybody has migrated to, this is what you see everywhere. So $17.90. Normally they're looking for about 3 times the rent. We're gonna do that. So that you got to make $5,370 a month. Let me see. We're gonna do the math real quick. So you would have to average about $33.56 an hour, or $70,000 a year. Now, I'm about to pull up because what we do know is that the average woman probably makes, I think it's like 20 to 25. The average man makes 50. So there's the whole average, population that are being set aside.
They're being set aside, shunned away, peasant like,
Yeah.
just totally disregarded in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's totally unwarranted. I think it's unfair. I think it's definitely immoral for a country that wants to say that they was founded by, morality, and we believe in this and good and all that. I don't see how that reflects that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that way with it. I understand totally what you're saying, man. These people have put us in the position to fail. And you're not failing by yourself either. You got to bring people with you. You got a kid, you got a person, people that love you. You got to bring them. You got to fail. They got to fail with you, involuntarily. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep. And then remember, like this is the most independent we've ever been, most likely in life. Definitely, since the colonization of the American. So it's sad. It's completely sad. Now check this out. So we just went and looked. What I say? It was about almost 60,000.
Yep.
And what I'm looking at here, that's 53, and that's still not. What is this? The average net compensation. Just give me a second. I'm just looking at it, trying to understand what I'm looking at. Okay, the median. The median is what we need to be looking at.
Yep.
34,000. I mean, and even if we're looking over here at the average net compensation, man, it still puts us well below.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's how are we to survive? And the longer that people don't stand up to things like this, you know what I mean? Like, just as much as the men and women are on here bitching at each other like little kids, and we're gonna jump into that one too if you got some time today, because I think it's important, especially for the younger, because we need to teach you guys. Because I know when I was young, I didn't understand like what was the difference between an adult and me. It's not something that happens overnight. When you turn 18, that does not make you grown. It makes you older.
Underline that.
Now, the one thing that majority of the people that are out here, I warned you guys earlier about, the elders. Most people do not mature past the age of maybe 12, 13 emotionally. They get older, but their emotions are still, catered back then. And me and Navarro, we actually working on a documentary we're gonna put together, really like digging deep into narcissism. Narcissism is something I believe most of us are born with. We see it in kids, snatching, don't understand how to share or even why to share with people. But you can have a 70-year-old, 12-year-old emotionally child, grown man, grown woman, not putting that on anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, they need to make about $60,000, $70,000 a year if you wanted to live in Atlanta. You know what I mean?
Tragic, man. It's tragedy, man. That's it. And that's total blasphemy, man. Like, I don't even know what word to use to describe this craziness that they putting these conditions they putting people under. And these are hardworking people, regular people that's suffering, man. It's not like, it's sad.
And that's the thing, like, do we actually have the time, or can we afford the time to be complaining about how I feel, my emotions? That's a fucking kid. Times are not the same as back then. You know what I mean? Like, if people don't get their shit together, y'all all will end up gone. I don't know if I could say that word on it. You know what I mean? Like people like that are guaranteeing that the next generation won't have to worry about anybody like you again, because they will learn from your mistakes. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And our time is getting short. I'm gonna bring up
Absolutely.
some of that right there. Climate change is real. If you don't believe it, we can't even have a conversation. We all watching this shit happen. China was out there flooding. Cali's going. You know what I mean? Cali is drying out. You know, I've seen that process to where the grass was green. It was cool with it. Then they start. Shit, they was actually going around planting new. You know, but then there's going to be a water shortage. Arizona's pulling people in, you know, but it's all for the money. But it's like, don't forget, you're in a desert. What other part in the world? And this is how dumb people are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how little that they think. Why would you move into a desert? Why would you put a large population into a desert?
I mean, fill me in. I don't know.
And if they had not done the research before they went and invested their money into a home out there, looking to call it home, you know what I mean? The first thing you need to be thinking about is how much water, you know what I mean? What's the water reserve looking like? The water been coming from Colorado or whatever it is, and that's been, it's been declining like a mug. Last time I went out there, I went to Hoover Dam. You can literally see, you know what I mean? It's probably like a couple stories worth of water that's gone from the dam. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And that's what feeds them all. That's what's feeding some of Cali and Arizona and Nevada. Yeah. But yeah, I think I jumped off, didn't I? But
Yeah,
jumped
it's
off,
okay.
but still on, because this is all, you know, this is the most important definite podcast that we done did.
Yes.
Because it's how in the fuck are people still arguing about what a man should do and what a woman shouldn't do?
Oh my goodness, that's fucking beyond me. Excuse my language. I couldn't have said it even clearer, man. You know, where are we going? Hashtag.
Yeah, exactly. Where we going, man? And that's the thing. Y'all gonna keep hearing it. Anybody can come in here and talk ish, but where we going?
Where the fuck we going? Excuse my language, but yeah, where are we going? Because it don't seem like it seems like nowhere fast. That's what the hell it seems.
Nah, all it seems like is like we just preparing ourselves by soaking in some gasoline, soaking our drawers in gasoline.
Real rap.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
run in there with some get it over with quick.
Get it over.
Yeah, but I definitely, man, I want you guys. This is definitely going to be the most vital information that you'll receive from anything out here. So you guys got to make sure that you like, subscribe, leave a comment below. You know what I mean? Me and Navarre, we prepared to fight the good fight. You know, so these aren't topics that are going to be entertaining. Like, we don't have, especially this is for the men and the women. We ain't talking about little boys and little girls. Little boys and little girls can't come in here and have conversation.
Nope.
Men and women, we supposed to be coming together to figure something out, because that's what an actual leader is. Don't come in here telling me I need to climb somebody's ladder, because that ladder is the same thing that is the same ladder taking us down to fucking hell.
Wow. That way. And don't nobody want to go that way.
Hey, maybe that's it. Don't nobody know what's the difference from up or down. Yeah, you can climb the ladder, but nigga, you climbing up or you going down.
There you go. There you go. There you go. And there it went, because We want y'all to understand. That's all. Understand, overstand. You know, if you got to stand under it, it don't matter. You got to stand next to it. Just make sure you understand the vitality and the seriousness of the subject matter we coming with tonight. It's that serious, y'all. It's that serious where we are.
Now, I wanted to go ahead and bring that up because in the same token that we bringing this up, just to let you guys know that our content isn't coming from one space. It's not coming from hatred. Have I been hurt? Yes. You know what I mean? Does my hurt fucking blind me from seeing what's in front of me? No. And that's what a leader is, and that's what a man is.
Yes.
Anybody that tell you something different than that, then you need to you know what I mean, reconsider who you decide to get your information from. So this right here was actually the UN 2022 report on climate change. And it gets, you know, pretty interesting. There's a lot of things that we already know, but, you know, it's good to see, you know, them put this together and pretty much call us out on the BS. And they're calling out the government. They're calling out the businesses, just to show that whatever you may think that you know, you don't know. Everything that you want to do is not you.
Right on.
Everything that you think you are is not you. Everything has been given. You know, that's what our foundation was based off, the fact that stories have been told to you. They've controlled the narrative. We're trying to rewrite our own stories because it was obviously a bunch of ignorant, greedy people that then led us into a burning building. But I'm going to go ahead. Over the past 20 years, climate change impacts across North America. Let me start that over. Over the past 20 years, climate change impacts across North America have become more frequent, intense, and affect more of the population. High confidence. Despite scientific certainty of the anthropogenic influence on climate change, misinformation and politicization of climate change science has created polarization in public and policy domains in North America. You know what I mean? So the two key things from that one is misinformation and politicization.
Yeah.
You know, for those that your attention isn't the same span as a goldfish, which they've created. You know, most people have the attention span of a goldfish right now.
Yeah.
But you know, if you look at what our society is going through right now, people literally choosing left or right, right? You know, you Democratic, you Republican, you're not, nigga. How about you stay in the middle and watch these fools look stupid?
Yeah. Absolutely. You talking about the war between the two slave masters? We ain't gonna talk about that.
Exactly. Exactly.
We on the even playing field. We looking
exactly
for the flaws.
And poor people fight rich people's wars, period. And if y'all was smart enough, you would break the divide that they have, because there is no divide. It's only between us and them. When you do that, you can get the rich people to fight the poor people's war, which takes us back to the rent, to the gas, to everything else. You know what I mean? There's more power in our hands than we're able to see. We can sit here. They can keep pushing us in directions to where we'll fight. Now, what I don't know, I understand the psychological warfare. Are the women gone? I don't know. Are the men gone? I don't know. What I see is extremely discouraging. But it takes for messages like this to continue to be put out there to, you know, ignite something inside you. Because the one thing I do believe is that what we do have is our recorders. It's that DNA inside you, man. It's the natural recorder.
Yes.
And I think that a lot of the information that we need to survive is already in us. You know, we're sorting through a mind that was filled with crap that was given through us through an educational system and the media that helped back it, to give us visions. So yeah, I'm gonna continue with that. Particularly, that's what it was saying now. Misinformation and politicization of climate change science has created polarization in public and policy domains in North America, particularly in the U.S. Yeah, get that one. Wow. Limiting climate action. Vested interests have generated rhetoric and misinformation that undermines climate science and disregards risk and urgency. Resultant public misperception of climate risk and polarized public support for climate actions is delaying urgent adaptation, planning, and implementation. You know what I mean? And that right there is something that's it's not on no conspiracy. And that's crazy because we're in a world right now that anybody that thinks outside of a box and is paying attention would be considered conspiracy theories. And that's where our pyramid's upside down, sweetie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's dumb are the conspiracy theories. What's facts and science and sitting in front of your face and we watching and we going through it. New Orleans, everybody down there, when they was when they got flooded and they dumbass was stealing wet TVs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Them niggas can tell you like, no, things are different. You know what I mean? Like climate change is real and the effects that it has. The sad thing is that we're just living in a life where as long as one party says, hey, no, climate, it doesn't exist.
Right. oh, yeah.
Then anybody who's, yep.
Yeah, don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. You just acknowledge that it was a fucking man behind the curtain, but you choose not to look at it. Cool, I get you. Right on, brother. Yep. You feel me? Like, come on,
man. What you see in front of you is not there. How about it? I hate to believe that most people are literally that damn dumb. Yeah. Shit, there was a bestseller, right? Mm-hmm. Fucking cooking for dummies, fixing this for dummies. Like, yo, they literally made books like, and niggas was like, yeah, like, hey, just give it. Come on, we're in a world where a dummy book can be successful. Man.
Oh man, facts and a half. That was a jewel they wasn't even ready for, man. That's applause right there. Applause. Applause. But I just hit the applause light on that one. That was hard. Man. But that's real
though. My bad. Yeah, no, everything is real, man. Like this is the shit people need to be, paying attention to. Because this is how real things can be. We're not the first to have failed. Every other dynasty or civilization has failed prior to us. For some reason, everybody lately have decided to, not only put their body into a man's pants, they decided to put their body into a holy body, and they all feel like they're God and they controlling this shit. That's all wrong.
Right.
So, I wanted to use that just to lead into with this independent lifestyle. What I would have thought that majority of us would have learned from the pandemic. That was something that nobody ever thought that could happen. So the ladies that were in that situation, maybe that's why, certain influencers are doing better now, because it sparked a thought in their head that they probably never even thought of before. Do I need a man? Do I need to work with somebody? You know what I mean? Let's take the man out, because this is how deep we going. You still got to learn how to build a community. Everybody's placing themselves on their own island.
Yeah. Like relationships is genderless, people. Good ones, bad ones, Come on. Some is so in the middle, but it's a relationship. It's a working, communicable union and bond between two people with the same traits. The human experience, y'all. Human experience. I mean, come on. You can't get that right. What can you get right? Can you mean to tell me you can't humble yourself enough, you know what I'm saying, to be able to share something with somebody, help you, help me type of deal? You can't help somebody help themselves, and in return, guess what's going to happen? Same's going to happen to you. So I don't understand the pushback in this, people. What the hell? Women, I mean to say it, but yeah.
Nah,
seriously.
you 1000%. That's, you know, and that's the thing that you guys are gonna catch on to. Where we going? You know what I mean? Everybody got an opinion. Everybody feel like saying something. There is no real truth. Like, cool, I accept it all, but where we going? You know what I mean? We got 4 ears right here. I'm more than willing to listen to any, you know what I mean? Anything that people got to say, because make it make sense. You know, that's the only thing that we asking. Because in the other thing, okay, so we looking at ladies, younger men, going the route that we're going right now. Say, let's just say hypothetically, right?
Mm-hmm.
That the climate is changing and things are going to get worse, and maybe we might come across a situation to where there's a food supply shortage. You guys are kind of seeing that already, but this is hypotheticals. We I don't want to be on no conspiracy shit,
right?
But what if there was a food shortage? Things start getting hotter. What would your dollar buy? Yeah, man. What would your dollar buy if it's not there? Who would be there to help you? Can't survive on your own. Humans have never survived on their own. You may not need somebody when the economy and life is on the top, but if we've already reached the top, and just like a recession or the housing bubble, we've witnessed that. Most of us have already, lived long enough to see, hey, a house might be worth $500,000 today. Once it popped, then that house is $100,000. Picture your life being that way.
Picture it.
And the sad thing, because I'm the reason why I was always good in the positions that I've always been in, because I have the biggest heart, but I would rather save 100 of my employees and let 5 of you go than to even care about what's going to happen to you afterward. If you're bringing poison or you're slowing the process down and you're not holding yourself up, because every business works as a team. If there's somebody in that team, and life is a team, if there's somebody that's not holding their ground and they feel like I'm just here for myself, I let them go with a smile and feel no empathy, sympathy, whatever for them.
Man.
Because they are the weak link. Like you're only as strong as your weak link.
Listen, even in the game of Monopoly, sometimes you go past go, but you gotta go back to jail and to get past go again because you had to go back and learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's facts.org right there, bro.
Yeah. And that's everything that ain't nobody looking at right now. And so like majority of when we speak, man, I'm speaking and we get on as we have. Like, we call them witches, bitches, and things of that nature. Like, I have no respect for anybody that's not trying to contribute to the community.
We don't have the luxury to, do we?
Nah, especially say black people. It's like, how the hell did we go from slavery to segregation to break free from that to where you can look back and say that you don't need any one of us?
None whatsoever. I'll call that shit.
No, go ahead.
No, it just came up, the bubble. slavery. Now it's behaviory. Like Nick.
No, for real. No.
You see,
Yeah.
like this is behaviory, nigga. You're because now you're pro-choice. You decided to behave like this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I ain't gonna hold you on it. That's you know what I'm saying. I'm glad you. That's all. I'll put that on a t-shirt maybe. Hashtag behaviory.
Yeah. Nah, yeah, we're gonna have fun with the t-shirts, man, because there's a lot of quotes, and it's sad because it's still like majority of people wouldn't even get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, just like even with the you know, we living in a world to where misandry, the hatred of men, uh, is just prevalent, man. It's everywhere around us. I hear nothing but I hate men. Um, Even for our women to go anywhere and say I hate black men ain't ish, you know, that's
crazy.
I'm not even sure if they understand that speaks more on you than it does your man. Because what I'm witnessing while you're talking down on them, everybody else out there has their eye on us, you know. And true indeed, with any race, there's gonna be crap, but it's for you to stop dealing with crap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if all you see is crap around you, then that speaks on you, not everybody else. I mean,
it's like what you say when you point you're pointing at him, fork pointing back at you. Just remember that.
Yep.
That's what it is, man.
Hey, I'm gonna let you ride with it for. I gotta go pour me a little wine. Hey, now hold on. Let me. So yeah, so the next thing I wanted to speak of, because we're speaking of all the reasons why we actually should be working together. We need each other. The next one that I wanted to talk about was Section 8. You know what I mean?
Ooh, Section 8.
What would happen if there? What would happen if there? Hold up. All right, so the next thing we wanted to talk about is the same thing. Everything it correlates with itself, man. You don't need each other. Just how we were raised to feel like you didn't need a man. We're not in control of this stuff. Like that's in the perfect scenario when they introduced the Section 8 was in 1970, which 60s. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff correlates. So now, what if it ran out? What if the landlords decided to stop allowing you guys to even use the Section 8 vouchers? We're already having a crisis to where there's not enough available units. So where does the poor? Because keep it real. If you're getting onto it, it is what it is. How do you find a place? And this person right here says, I feel like I'm a nomad. Families frustrated by Charlotte landlords refusing Section 8 vouchers. And this is not just South Carolina. I just seen something out there in Nevada or Arizona, wherever everybody had moved to.
Yes.
She had 3 kids, and she was looking, as quoted by her, she said that she felt like she had hit the lottery when they called her and told her that she was, I guess, next up for the Section 8. Got her voucher, I guess, went to go and find a place and have not been able to find a place. And as times are different. And I don't see that changing no time soon. I understand how long the waiting lists are for those things. If you have not gotten it by now, you may be one of the ones that need to rethink how you feel about needing your man. You know what I mean? A Charlotte family is desperately searching for affordable housing after being displaced several times because more landlords are choosing not to accept Section 8 vouchers. The Section 8 housing program is designed to make homes and apartments more affordable for low-income people by paying landlords a subsidy from the government. But landlords in Charlotte are not required to accept vouchers. It's called source of income discrimination, and even though it has the word discrimination in the name, it's legal in Charlotte. Despite landlords knowing renters with Section 8 vouchers will pay their rent every month, many do not want to deal with the red tape that goes along with accepting Section 8 money. such as government inspections. And it may not only be government inspections during this lockdown. Anything that was federally funded, they did not have to pay. I'm sure that put
Yes.
a lot of stress on the independent landlords, and we'll get into that another day because you guys got to watch out. A lot of the investors are buying up majority of the rental properties, apartments, and things of that nature, and they're making it even harder for you guys to get in. Not only that, they're driving the prices up. When you can control majority of that market, and part of the success of how it was put to where an independent landlord can come in on property is that you can at least have some type of emotion behind. Hey, if I fall behind on rent, hey, I've been here for 5 years, I'm good for what I mean. Let me know XYZ. The personal connection that people used to have are going to be gone because these big companies are moving in.
Yes.
So it says, Michelle Marshall says she's done everything right to qualify for a Section 8 voucher. Marshall has been living in Ashley Place apartment in East Charlotte for 4 years, but now the landlord doesn't want to accept Section 8, she said. I feel like I'm a nomad, like I'm constantly having to move, she told Action 9's Jason Stugink, whatever. We have been in Charlotte for almost 14 years, and we've been homeless 5 times. Marshall says she's finding it difficult to find a landlord who takes Section 8 and has a place large enough for a family of 5. I have called realty companies. I have called more than 24 apartment complexes. I have been on the phone. This is not a process that I just started yesterday. This has been going on for years, she said. With all the housing that's being built, why can't we find affordable housing? And that's the other thing. They are not building any affordable housing. Everything now is luxury. I'm seeing crazy stuff. They like the names that they call it is like luxury. There's like super luxury. There's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They building everything, but what we just showed is that the average person is making X amount. So it's like, where does the average citizen live? How do they survive in a time like this? So again, I must ask, why are we arguing about what a man is, what a woman is, and how to get along in a household? You have no choice. It's like, what? You would rather sleep on the street than to sleep next to your man.
Yeah.
Knowing that men are the easiest creature on earth to get along with.
Absolutely.
He wants peace. You want streets. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Confusion and attention. We ain't catering to that. Now that's the superficial. We need to get official. We official. Y'all superficial. With that mind state, come on, we ain't got the luxury to even think like that no more, people. Adult mind state. Like my man said, hey man, being grown ain't about age. Has nothing to do with it whatsoever. It's about making grown-up decisions. It's called executive decisions, right?
Man, that's you hit that right on, and that's what it is. And yo, that's what separates children from adults. Unless you're making adult situations, having adult conversations, your voice means something. I'm seeing a bunch of children out here on social media that having the loudest voices, but I'm not sensing any maturity in this.
So what does that mean? That means elaborate a little more on that, if you don't mind.
What that means is that we're lost in a world full of kids. You know what I mean? It's the illusion of an adult, and that's what'll throw a kid off, and that's why these kids are following other kids, not understanding that they kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
You may have gray hair, you may have a dad bod, you know what I mean, or a mom bod. But if you have not grown emotionally mature enough to handle a regular conversation, or to even be able to look outside of yourself. You know what I mean? Because at that point, it's just literally, it's stupidity. Because life, it's impossible to only look out for yourself and survive.
Mm. That holds a lot of weight. What you just said, that might be over their heads like halos, but that held a lot of weight. A lot of people ain't gonna get, and I don't even expect them to though, you know, because this is that type of serious situation that all of us are experiencing right now, man. Adults.
Yep.
Look at the TikTokers of the world. Hey, listen, I'm not calling nobody specifically out. We're talking about a certain demographic, people. You gotta fall in line. And look, no, I'm saying I ain't mean to get up, but they're even like, and I think I'm skipping, but I'm going back to the Section 8, homeless situation in America. You know, they're not even allowing homeless people to be homeless anymore. So that further, you know what I'm saying, lets us know the direction we're going in as a society, people. So.
Exactly, and that's and these are the only conversations that need to be had. We can song, dance, and all this other stuff. Like, yo, either you're gonna get smart, or you know what I mean, like get smart or get dumb, or remain dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring this up right here, man, because this is some solid information. Since we tapped into it, we might as well go ahead and really look into what emotional intelligence is, just so that you're not just looking at me speaking.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
we try to get facts to be able to show you guys. So this right here, man, is 6 behaviors that reveal emotionally mature people, and understand that the level of maturity of a person is their age, how we should be viewing it. Do you find yourself surrounded by people who are not emotionally mature? Emotionally mature isn't quite the same thing as standard maturity. Instead, it specifically refers to one's ability to manage negative or stressful situations without causing unnecessary escalation. That is the main issue that our relationships are having. You know, and fellas, these are notes. If you're dealing with a woman that gets triggered, or men, or women, if you're dealing with a man that gets triggered emotionally, if he is not able to handle a stressful situation with a leveled mind where he's processing, run. That person is emotionally immature. It's a child. Don't look at them no different than you would a 6-year-old having a fit. I coach and I mentor a lot of guys on this right here, and it helps them. Unfortunately, the men, they're in a situation to where they're not able to leave children involved. But the best way that you can handle that situation from there is to be able to understand what you're actually dealing with. Makes it a lot easier. If you understand that grown person that you're looking at, it's hard for the mind to understand, but it's a child. Yeah. And the child is based off their emotional status. And unfortunately, most men, we grew up hearing that we were only the ones that did not grow emotionally. Let me see. Did I already read this?
It is plaguing us as a people.
Man, emotionally mature people also tend to have healthy, positive relationships with others, and they tend to be happier overall. Combine all these factors are enough to make anyone strive to achieve this maturity. Here are 6 behaviors that reveal emotionally mature people. So I want you guys to be able to pay attention, because history does equate to the present. If you're dealing with somebody that, unfortunately, what I'm saying right now, you got to pay attention to the trigger and keywords. One of them are narcissistics. They've dealt with them. It's a rare situation to actually deal with a true narcissist person. We all have narcissistic tendencies and qualities. We were raised that way. America is that. But if everybody that they've ever dealt with was a narcissist, 9 times out of 10, they have not emotionally matured. So, 6 behaviors emotionally mature people display. They are aware of their needs and emotions. To be emotionally mature, one must be aware of their feelings, needs, and thoughts. Here's how emotionally mature people can do with this with ease. They recognize needs and feelings. It's easy to close yourself off when you feel negative emotions, but it's essential to be aware of them in the first place. Denying emotions will only cause internalized issues or will explode later. I have pictures of pretty much almost everybody I've ever dealt with, but education is key. I had no idea. Things like this on top, definitely not going to be from a single family household.
Right.
My situation dealing with a bunch of women, that's the last piece of information I'm going to get, and I'm not putting it all on them. Nobody is actually. It's very seldom that a person takes time to learn themselves. Everybody's chasing what everybody else is doing. They learn them by watching, observation through education, without internalizing and using their mind. They put things in perspective. Emotionally mature people know how good they have it, and they regularly check themselves and shift their perspectives to realize they're lucky compared to everyone else. That's what we're speaking of. Of course, suffering and sadness are not competitions, and no matter how good your situation, you are allowed to be upset when things go wrong. But it can also help to remember all the good things in one's life when dealing with strong feelings. And that I do. The one thing about life that I've learned how to do, and I had to learn, my bad situations are learning lessons. I take those situations and I figure out how can I learn from them. If I walk out of any situation I have not learned, I know that I was the problem, and I am that problem. Moving forward, you're only going to, bear it down. Have you realized that? You know what I mean? How do you exit? Say a relationship. Is it just looking for blame, or do you sit back and try to figure out what really went wrong?
Yeah, I analyzed both parties. I see where I went wrong at. I'm glad that's a good question. I see where I went wrong at. I diagnosed that myself as a person who has the potential to do better, that wants to do better. That is a big gap between a person that doesn't admit to anything and don't see themselves doing anything better to change the situation. So I take it upon myself to do that. And hopefully the other party will, but if they don't, I can't control that. So I just keep it in the road that way, and I definitely admit it's an admission to being wrong. That's hard for a lot of people, even
accountability.
That's the word. And that to me shows a sign of maturity. I told a couple of my exes that yes, I did this. I feel this way about it, and that's that. I was content. Not even I didn't even care about the response. I just know how I felt when I displayed what I displayed, and that was important to me. So I think that was a sign of maturity. On it as far as the demonstration goes, right?
Oh, that's spot on. You know what I mean? Ladies and gents, that is that is the definition of emotional maturity. For you to go into a situation, it takes two to tango.
Absolutely.
If I put myself into a situation and it goes wrong, which I have multiple times, as I said, I'm be the last one. Anybody want to call out? Have you been hurt? Yes, I've been hurt my whole motherfucking life. But I would never hold my pain, because men, we're not supposed to. Actually, I think it's for all of us. That's the emotional maturity. You're supposed to be able to process that pain the same way you did as riding a bike, falling off. You know what I mean? I assessed the situation, analyzed, and realized what I needed to do better the next time so that I can stay upright. But I always hold myself fully accountable for anybody that I encounter, because that's how I build myself even stronger. I want to focus on everything that I've done wrong in it. I rarely pay attention to what they did, because I'm trying to be better. I want a better situation. I know I was pretty much how most of us was born. You got to realize, like, we was born, one of our legs was 6 inches shorter. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know,
yes,
so
indeed.
we born with the defect. You know what I mean? So my thing is, like, how can I get this leg to grow equal to the other one that's keeping me up? You know, that's I think that understanding emotional intelligence and emotional maturity is a key to a healthy relationship. It's a key to even you yourself being able to find happiness. You can't find happiness as a 6-year-old having a tantrum every time things don't go their way. And we're in a society where what I'm seeing is that majority of people, that's what they're doing. They're having, you know, itch fits because things aren't going their way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dust your clothes off, you hit the ground, dust them off, pick yourself up, and keep walking.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to the next one. They put things into perspective. Emotionally mature people know how good they up. We already did that one, right? They don't take things personally. Emotionally mature people never fall into the habit of thinking that the world is out to get them. Their egos aren't so vast as to believe the world revolves around them. We touched the topic on the princess syndrome and a lot of these things. You know what I mean?
Yes, we've scraped the surface a little bit, but yeah, it definitely it definitely speaks volumes to what we're talking about right now. Definitely correlates.
That'll do. And just on that note, make sure that you like, subscribe, leave a comment below.
Please. Yes.
Because,
help yourself.
Yeah, as we stated, man, this right here, you're not going to find this information and this energy nowhere else out here. You know what I mean? That's the difference between men and boys. You know?
Absolutely, man.
Leaders and followers. You know what I mean? This is all the stuff that you need. The rest of telling men to go soil your oats, like, man, this ain't coming to America, man. We already here. You know I mean? We already here.
Been here, done this. Like this.
There ain't none of that.
Oh man, yeah, y'all gotta get y'all maturity level up, y'all. Get y'all maturity game up. If you want to call yourself an adult, it ain't about, you know, gender. It's about being mature. Right at this point, it's about taking you know, just being accountable. Because you know, the first way to, well, we gotta admit first, right?
Yep.
Any addict has to admit first, and we ain't calling out nobody's addicts or lifestyle. Well, we just saying. Any problem you might have, admit you had at first. So we both can get over it together. Like, it makes no sense to sweep that under the rug. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that there's more dirt around the rug. Like, come on. Like, y'all gotta get with this. Get with this, because it's only gonna help us as a society try to penetrate, you know, all these things that's plaguing us at this current time. So let's get with it, people. Let's get with it.
That's our mission, man. Our mission, like, we here to combat what the big businesses and media is like doing. As you say, this right here, you're not going to be able to find in no movie, definitely on no TikTok, until we actually put it on TikTok to explain exactly why, so you guys understand what you need to be to grow. You know, and most people, we've never, this is information that we don't have. That's most of the people that we come across and be cautious of. You know, as we said, like, the younger people will be able to take something like this. This is information that we did not have readily available for us. And, you know what I mean, figure out how you can digest this, because this is the real. This will stop you from being as bitter, angry, and ignorant as everybody that's ahead of you, in front of you, as far as age. The next one, they don't make things personal either. When an emotionally mature person runs into conflict, they don't jump into a defensive mode where they take everything as a personal attack. They put aside their pride with reason, of course, and communicate with honesty and empathy to solve the problem well. They don't let their emotions rule. When someone is aware of how they feel, they can keep those emotions from running the show. Bottling emotions up instead can cause them to subconsciously influence you, which is something that doesn't happen to an emotionally mature person. Um, and I'm gonna pause right there because the lack of emotional maturity is what, and this is directed towards you ladies. No, 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 no. Let me take that back. It's an emotionally immature people. I just, I mean, my experiences are with them, and what I'm seeing on TikTok. So it's just what I'm seeing. But they're trying to convince you to accept the emotional maturity side of them. Oh, this is what a woman is. No, no, no. I don't believe that for a second. This is how you were programmed.
Yeah.
But the numbers speak. Our relationship rate and dating rate, it's at lows. Birth rate is at lows. A woman is a woman and a girl is a girl.
Yeah.
Big difference. They are positive but realistic. Optimism is beneficial in everyday life, and emotional maturity. Mature people tend to favor positive thinking over a doom and gloom mentality. They're bright and happy thoughts. Happy lots of they're bright and happy lots of time, which makes them enjoyable to be around. And they don't let anything get them down very long. Most relationships break apart because you got one, what do you call it? Debbie the Downer.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes. 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 Debbie
Yeah,
D. What it be?
we too familiar with that one. But this doesn't mean that these individuals are hopeless, idealistic with their heads in the clouds. It's quite to the contrary. They they're realistic about the situations that they're in and see them accurately. Still, they use positive thinking to focus on the right sides or how to work towards solving problems and improving the situation. They don't get stuck wallowing in their sadness. Instead, emotionally mature people. Now, that's where our whole economy is like falling because people avoid the emotional side of life. It's not that relationships don't work. You got two parties, men and women, so scared. You know what I mean? And in
Yeah.
that sense, I call both parties bitches, the men
Yeah.
and the women. You know what I mean? That's how you use that word right, because it's a universal. That
Yeah.
word is universal.
Well, they call man bitches Mitches, and they call
Mitches.
women bitches witches. So witches and Mitches.
Yeah, witches and niches.
Yeah. You know what I mean? All you gotta do is turn that one letter upside down. It's the same D. Same thing. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep themselves grounded in reality. We stay in reality. That's why we able to give you guys this message with their
Yeah.
heads tilted to the sun all day, baby. Understand that life cannot be anything but positive or negative occurrences, but balance of both.
Mm.
Looking forward
Interesting.
to the future, prepared for the good times and for the challenges that will undoubtedly arise. So anybody that's not looking to the future, really, they're afraid of it. They're still
Mm.
trying to figure out what's happening in their present, which they can't even control. So they damn sure can't control anything that's coming,
Mm-hmm.
ahead.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because I haven't went through all this though. Like this is like the main key of what's wrong with everybody. It's
Yes.
the emotional maturity level.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
the viewer, man, y'all soak this up. This right here save y'all some time because this will help you be able to identify who to deal with and who not to.
Right.
Friends, relationships, family.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Your
Yes.
your inner circle. Um, are intent on making the best out of bad situations and finding the silver linings in ever troubling time. Assume the best of those around them, bearing those who have proven themselves untrustworthy before. And that one is tying into what the relationships are going wrong on. Because somebody hurt them in the past, so they are afraid to accept somebody else in, or they're comparing their past to their present. Right. Naturally feel thankful for small things in their everyday life. And that one, I just want to pause on that one. For people who have to pray, a lot of people don't understand that I live in prayer. Not a religious guy, but I live in prayer. As long as I live in prayer, that means that I'm giving just as much as I want to receive. Of course, we all want to receive, but I can't just sit there like a child and just keep asking for things that are of no relevance to, you know what I mean, to what I need to actually survive, live, thrive, contribute to society, contribute to the existence of a species, because species die off.
Absolutely.
Number 3, they're flexible and open-minded. An emotional, mature person knows that their views are not the be-all and end-all truth. They stay flexible and are always open to hearing new ideas and opinions, even those that clash with their thoughts. Now, we're going to put a pin on that one. Go and get it. Go and get it. All right.
No, I was going to just say, look, actually, we could totally be all the way wrong about what we're saying, right? But I highly doubt it. Let me just throw that disclaimer out there. You see what I mean? We could be totally wrong. Yeah. We don't have all the sense. Let's not get it twisted. Yeah. Each one teach one. We're giving it as it's given. And we recognize that far long, and we still recognize it today. That's what allows me and Coach B to be who we are and to say what we say. Hey, man, we ain't never said we was the smartest person in the room, ever. Okay? We just thrive to be. And ain't nothing wrong with that. And we taking suggestions, and we, at any time, just hit us down in the comments below. Let us know what you think. Subscribe to the channel and tell us where we went wrong at, if you believe so. We open. We're an open book over here at Yunik Podcast, baby. Right? I just had to say that, man. I'm sorry.
Nah, no, I'm glad you did, dog. You took look. Ain't nothing but birds chirping over here, crickets. You know what I mean? Because that's exactly, and it, like, me and him haven't went through this. You know what I mean? I do my research, trying to figure out. Man, you guys can, what's this, 312? Y'all can date anything back before that. The last thing that we've ever done is say that we know all. We're just trying to bring attention, trying to get you guys, trying to spark something to think outside of the box.
Please do.
You know what I mean? We brand new. You know what I mean? Like, this is anybody in this generation, this day and age. We all brand new. We all just coming out the cooch right now. You know, so we find value in working together, listening to each other, working as a team. So now that this was dope, because it pretty much summed up the whole, every podcast that we've ever done leading up to this point. And then it put the pin on this entire podcast that we did today. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because we've said that time in, time out. You know, we're not this is a non-judgment zone. I mean, there is no, the only dumb thought is one that don't think on their own. If you're only repeating what somebody else said, you know what I mean? That's stupidity. You know, we want to hear what you think, how you feel, how you perceive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your experiences. That's what life is. That's what the people above us have the leverage over.
Yeah.
We don't share our stories. They do.
There you go. Man, goodness.
This one was dope, man. Research has shown that open-minded individuals are often happier overall, with better positive thinking, as well as improved conflict management skills. If that sounds like something you'd like to be a part of your life, then emotional maturity is the solution. Of course, there's a limit to open-mindedness. We're not saying that emotional mature people tolerate those who are intolerant, for example, but even though in those situations they maintain a degree of curiosity. They aim to understand the cause behind these points of views so that they can better speak for or against them. This is funny. This is funny, man, because this is explaining Yunik.
Yeah.
This is explaining us.
That
I mean,
why
so next time we're gonna bring it in like, yeah, well, we are the emotionally mature sector of YouTube podcast life, nigga.
yeah.
Making the words I ain't even understand. Emotional intelligence is not what we've been taught.
Mhm.
Flowers, right? That's what they say. Oh, men don't care. You don't rub my back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where's the flowers? What about Thanksgiving? The size of my ring.
Yeah.
That ain't got none of the. Actually, you even demanding that shit shows that you lack emotional intelligence, maturity. Call it what you want.
Yes, sir.
They ask before they speak. You may know people in your life who talk and talk and talk, but always seem to fail to listen accurately. These people are not emotionally mature as they are more interested in themselves than in other people, putting themselves above others. On the other hand, an emotionally mature person listens and observes before reacting. They always think before they speak or act and gathering context clues and facts from people's speech and the environment before making a carefully considered move. They control their impulses, which prevent any emotional outburst. Just wanted to let y'all hear that silence. There was nothing there. Let that brain just
that was
work.
that was some loud silence right there.
That's loud. It was loud, dog. Let me see where we at. Yeah. On top of that, emotionally mature people don't listen to add their points in. They try to understand and to relate. The fact that listening is twice as complicated as the act of speaking is one of the reasons why many individuals don't successfully perform this positive trait. Positive. They're honest. They're honest. How many people you come across and sounding up?
Right.
When someone is emotionally mature, they are also emotionally honest because they're so in tune with themselves, they have no problem being in touch with their feelings. And they are therefore able to understand themselves and be honest about their sincere thoughts. They also see that others appreciate honesty from them and that honesty is crucial for effective positive communication. Here are some ways emotionally mature people are honest. It's I think this right here, this breaks down that princess syndrome like into detail, because that's basically what the whole princess syndrome. People being lost with emotions that don't even make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're one directional, one dimensional.
Absolutely. That should break it down, and yeah, that should compartmentalizes it. Basically, damn, we just basically did that segment all in one. That shit was like a double, two birds, one stone type of thing. The princess, the whole shit, dog. The whole shit.
And that's breaking it down so that there is no gender that's actually put in it. We all know people like this. And how they said emotionally people are honest. The list starts with integrity. I mean, an emotionally mature person is committed to life of integrity. I live in integrity. I am integrity. I think that's the most important key to life, friendship, relationships. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They want to work with the truth and nothing but the truth, even if that truth hurts. Get out your feelings. As such, they are honest with others and themselves, working with facts. They also expect honesty from others, so they have an open mind to listen to all sorts of feedback and information. Make sure that you like, subscribe, leave a comment below. We're not just saying it to trick the algorithm.
Yeah.
We're curious. Sincerity. I just spoke on that. An emotionally mature person is sincere. what I just spoke was sincere. They do not feel the need to pretend to be someone they are not.
Yes.
Man, that's dope. Man, that's dope. 100. 100.
Hey, yes, sir.
They don't wear masks. Take the makeup off. It's just no.
Please. All
Take the
that
makeup off.
mascara, Maybelline, all
Uh,
that shit.
hey, so that's kind of like to the point where it's like, okay, now they're actually raised to the image that they're given is to wear that mask. However you want to put it. Weave,
Mm-hmm.
makeup, lashes, men, clothes, tight little pants, gold chains,
Glasses, gold
diamonds,
teeth,
glasses.
hair coming down all of me.
That's the
All
same
that shit.
thing as a mask. And these are all the emotionally immature people. Yo, I hope it's registering to the listener as much as it is to me. I'm learning while I'm, you know what I mean? Because this is I'm going down that little tunnel, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
connect the dots and it all makes sense.
Yes, it do.
They don't wear a mask. Indeed, they show their true selves and are proud of their own identity. That's all I ever wanted to be in life is me. If I was to go tomorrow, I left being me. How many of
Yeah,
you can say that?
man.
Change is never too late.
It's never too late. Never too late, y'all. Come on. Come with us. Come with us. Come with us. That's it. For real.
Yeah. Assistance. For many people, being honest about needing help can be difficult, but admitting that the help is necessary is part of living honestly. And emotionally mature people don't let their pride stop them from seeking help. Don't be afraid to reach out for assistance, whether of a physical or emotional kind. People will appreciate that you're open to them. Guess what? I'm so sincere and so open. That's my that's my
That's
that's the
you.
part of emotional and
Yeah.
maturity that I have now. And that's the beautiful
Yes.
thing. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
It's accepting what it is. And that's one thing that I do know and
You
trust.
you
I'm
still got
trying to
work to do. I still got
exactly.
work to do. We all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad
Yeah.
though. I wouldn't have it no other way. Let's get it. Like I don't care.
Man.
We're not. That's okay. We gonna get that though.
Yeah.
We gonna get over that for sure.
Exactly. That's the beautiful thing about this. Hey, that's how y'all know that this is straight real. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And the one thing that I do not do is feel the need to have to lie. You know, I am what I am. I'm in the process of, and there's no such thing as perfection. And there's no such thing as everything. If you know
Right.
everything, why are you here? Life is about learning. That's the entire point of life. So at the moment that you feel like you don't need to learn no more, where you going? You know what I mean?
Where are we going?
So that right there was what Coach B needs. he has to focus on his assistants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then back it up by no white lies. Emotionally mature individuals tell it like they see it and don't try to preserve the feelings of others by lying. Y'all just heard and that it's an embarrassing, it's not something I stand strong on, but goddamn it gotta come out.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
this is dangerous, man. This thing calling. All right. However, this doesn't mean an emotionally mature person is tactless. They can be
Mhm.
kind and let someone know they truth gently, but they see no benefit in white lies. Vulnerability. This is another one. I just
Damn.
told y'all all about me. Being vulnerable is scary, but an emotional mature person has learned to overcome that fear. They are comfortable with their good side, bad side, and flaws, and they aren't afraid to being open about their lives and who they are. They can be real with you and build trust with those around them by opening up. The vulnerability can also help positive thinking, allowing for better mental health. You know what I mean? That's what it all.
Yes.
That shit summed up everything that I just said. Like
Yes, it do.
I'm going through these as I for the first time. So you guys, we all in a therapy session right now. Yeah,
Yes. We all on that couch, boy.
yeah,
Laying on that couch.
we all there. And you know what? Just speaking of that, man, I kid you not. the best thing about speaking, and especially younger people, pay attention to what you actually say when you're talking to somebody else. 9 times out of 10, you're giving yourself advice.
Facts.org.
Yeah, that's that thing called subconscious. We ain't got no control over that motherfucker. We don't get to see or speak to them often, but they speak to us often. We just don't listen.
Yeah, you got to do a better job.
Yeah, but it's still, it's all learning. We don't know what we haven't, been exposed to or taught. They take responsibility when they are wrong. When someone lacks emotional maturity, they may be unable to accept when they are wrong and take responsibility for whatever they caused or whatever has happened. Someone who lacks the maturity may jump into defense mode, deflect blame, point fingers, make excuses, or focus on protecting their ego, aka what a lot of people understand right now is they consider it their pride.
It's a bad thing, man.
Yeah,
can be. Yeah.
But this shows a massive lack of maturity because it means that this person isn't willing to make things right, all for the sake of their pride. It's a selfish action and is the mark of someone who hasn't become emotionally mature. Here are some ways that those who have become emotionally mature react to their mistakes. Admission. If someone suggests they've done something wrong, an emotionally mature person considers the subject seriously. They don't have an interest in fighting to prove their innocence and will offer a polite apology. They don't feel a supreme need to be right all the time and often play the less mature, so they don't waste their time trying desperately to be believed. Recognition. Sometimes emotionally mature individuals notice far ahead of time when their actions are less than savory. They have a level of self-awareness that allows them to see and admit fault quickly so they can acknowledge the issue and promptly make up for it in a positive way. Blame. Emotionally mature individuals never blame others for their problems. They don't blame traffic or the weather. They don't blame the people around them, and they don't even blame those who are also partially responsible. We just spoke on this. They hold themselves accountable and take ownership for the wrongdoings, no matter how minor. Excuses. Unless an explanation is warranted or if there's been a misunderstanding, an emotionally mature person never uses reason as a crutch. They know that it doesn't matter why they did something wrong. All that matters is that they did it in the first place. Bias. It's going into everything we didn't already explain episodes before. We almost on 100. Understand? We did the explanation before the research.
Yes.
That's some reals. Bias. Emotionally mature people know that they have innate preferences and that they, as human beings, can be irrational and imperfective. Prejudices are often internalized and can be challenging to break. So, majority of people keep these in mind, and when interacting with others, and are sure to check themselves and be more careful around topics that tend to push their buttons. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how we gonna end it.
Yes.
But I kid you not, like, that was I like that. I like that. I think that was if you are looking for something to add value to your life, save some time, help you become stronger, I would honestly suggest for everybody to drown out the white noise and focus on growing emotionally. That honestly, that kind of sums up most of the problems that we're actually having as a society, in relationships, in our government, in the system. That was deep, dog.
Very, very. That was the therapy dive in, right? We dove in on that one. And wow, it's man, that's like facts.org. Like, oh, man. Like that was therapy session there. That when you talking about that, because it involves so many different elements, you know, a society, man. It's like all of us can really benefit from this, bro.
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing about life, right? And I believe majority of us want to fix our situation. Nobody wants to be unhappy. Nobody wants to feel sad. Nobody wants the next man to not be there for them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, where do we start? And as again, I say, I recommend day one. That's day one. And I mean, maybe you guys might be looking for another book. We got one coming, documentary and about the narcissism.
Yes.
Um, I think this is if not one, it's number two.
Yeah.
You know,
I could agree with that one for sure.
yeah,
Not for sure, for sure.
that's what's up. Did you have any
Not.
last words, man? I let you go ahead and bring that up.
Uh,
Oh, because I've been reading, man. Let me you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like let it out, let it out, let it out. Because
Let it out, man. Yeah, let
yeah,
it out how you can get it. Let it out. Nah, I just I just want everybody to like, subscribe, comment, and actually apply, you know, what we're saying to your lives because it affects those closest to you and even other people, you know, in society. Us as society right now have fallen behind the eight ball, and we're on this trying to dig ourselves out mind state right now. When in actuality, we got ourselves in that position, you know, with the assistance of the powers that be. But it was all made from a choice, you know. It was all made from a choice. Believing in the wrong people will get you in a place you don't want to be. So I'm not going to spill too much on it. Just the fact that emotional maturity is probably the main thing I want y'all to take heed to this whole 2 hour podcast that me and my brother Coach B have just put on. Very instrumental in the existence of this whole society moving forward. Not you, your kids, your kids' kids, because
yeah,
they got a plan for you, me, and he and
yeah,
she.
yeah,
It's
man.
up to you. It's
Yeah,
up to you. It's up to us. So let's get it together. Let's like, subscribe, comment. Yunik Podcast is here to simply give what we are giving, and we're learning in the process as well. I think Coach B can second second that emotion. So
yeah.
yeah, let's build together, man. And you know, we've taken it. We haven't been on as frequent, but it's a reason for that. It's because we're still doing knowledge ourselves and finding the right, you know, bits of information and research so we can give it to you in the right way. Plus, we got other things going. Be sure to goddamn check out our TikTok, Yunik Podcast. We on Quora, you know, Yes Man. We got a lot of things popping off all over the social media platforms. So
Discord, TikTok,
yeah, yeah,
Instagram,
yeah, yeah,
Clubhouse,
everything. Yeah, all that. Hey, Unique
Twitter,
Podcast, Twitter.
Twitter
Oh yeah,
Live.
man, come on, man. We any way we want to get this message out, we're going to attempt to do it. And we just need y'all support, man. That's all. We ain't asking for y'all money yet. But you know, if y'all want to donate to the cause with y'all mind or y'all money, please do so, man. We here.
Yeah, make sure you contact. Yeah, because the more time that me and Navarre are able to put into this, of course, it's not a dream, but it's where it should be. You know what I mean? The more time that we can apply to this and fully focus on it, the more that you guys learn, the more we can learn, the stronger our community can be. There's not many of us out here, I guess, willing. You know, if you are one of the ones that's viewing it, you are one of the ones, but some of them that are willing, and that's what we represent.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
to take the flack, to be looked at. You know what I mean? Because it's not giving you guys what you want; it's giving you what you need. And we're at the time in our generation, or you know, what I mean, this era, to where I don't have time to sit there and feed. If it blows up while I'm here, I'm good. If it don't, I'm good. Regardless of what, I got seeds. And the one thing that I've always noticed about life, from the people that I've dealt with, you know, when I was younger, once you plant those seeds, all they're waiting for is some water. You know what I mean? And when I speak of the seeds, yeah, it's most of the stuff that we'll speak of, it's not trending. It's not thought of. It's what your subconscious thinks of. You know what I mean? Your subconscious picked up on it. But when these seeds are planted, like you said, sun and some water, once it do, you're going to be able to grow a plant that can grow higher than ours. And that's the whole point of life. You know, the elders are supposed to be able to reach down, drop jewels, give them knowledge, life experiences where it went wrong. And right now we're in the best part of life, I feel, because as I said, we can look forward and we can look back. We can see where they fucked up and why they won't tend to what's going on right now, and how blind everybody else would be up under us. We're trying to be that medium. I mean, period and point blank. Not trying to. We are. You know what I mean?
We are.
Yeah. It's gonna register, and that's the crazy thing. And you know, it's putting the pin on this right here. It's gonna register. I haven't across somebody that later on down life, if I invested the time has we have on YouTube, that seed it's gonna grow. But one last thing I wanted to do, because I know I called myself out just to show how genuine we are. Was there any part of the emotional maturity that identified, say, some of the struggles that you know you maybe share with us, brother?
Man, mine is my main one. Yeah. I was like, listen, look, that bullseye hit me three, like the first two. Now, like it was very hard for me myself to criticism, that part. Constructive criticism. I'm working on that. You know, people being, telling the truth, accepting it, taking it in stride, and giving it back in a way that is mature. Mm-hmm. That is the one that I'm working on the most. But I'm working on it day to day. But the fact that I know it when it's happening, I realize it. I realize it as it's happening. So that was a big one for me. Yeah. I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind it. It's just my response to it is what I do mind. I have to get better at that. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Man.
Definitely.
And that's the beautiful thing, man. No, for real. It's then that goes back into it was the vulnerability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard, especially as a man, because we've been taught to be so solid, so reserved, blah blah blah. Like, it's so important. Like I never noticed it. I've never realized it growing up, but for us to be able to express that, I suggest everybody do. Because you can't.
Yeah.
If you don't express it, you just allow it to fester in your mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
And doing that is dangerous. You end up on the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're looking for a solution within yourself, and that's not it. You'll never come up with a full conclusion with anything if you just are internalized. We're interdependent. We are an interdependent species. We're not independent. So we become weaker the more independent we are. The less that we decide to share our stories or express how we truly feel, then that's still it's hiding. Like I said, mine, I know what mine is. And that's why I like reading it, like, hey, you know what I mean? Let me put my hand up, dog. It's in all honesty, to me, you know, that's one of the worst things, especially being in the place that I am. I can preach, and maybe that's why I'm so good at being able to, you know, or driven to help others, because I know that's the side I can't. It's hard for me to accept anything from anybody. You know, was put out earlier, and I've always survived. So it's like, you know, I'm gonna do whatever I need to survive, and I've, you know, went through the tough times and understood, like, shit, I know exactly how I felt when I was, you know, in this place. So let me allow somebody else, because I know I can't accept it. So I understand how valuable it is. And but that's how we, you know what I mean? It's that open line of communication that helps us get through it all, because I can only view that, because that's the one thing that, you know what I mean, I'm trying to get over, just like with yours. But it also ties into, which I'm gonna leave the link down below, to the personality test.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and that right there, there's two things that I want everybody to take the test on and actually focus on before you even entertain anything outside of life. And that's what our foundation is actually based on. There's 9 different types of intelligence. Education tries to put us in one box, and that one box only is linguistic and logical. It's math and English. That's what our IQ test is based off. But there's 9 different types of intelligence, like spatial. We all know, I get gutter. There was that one dude that he can grow Mary Jane plan out of nothing. You know what I mean? Like but that's the naturalistic nature. There are certain people that are like botanists, like they're real good at plants. You have spatial, you know what I mean? Good at your hands, or just your body. Athletes, mechanics, you know, carpenters, you know, like using your hands is an intelligence, but we're taught that that's not an intelligence. But you got to understand, like, we're no different than any other species out here. And you have workers, drones, blah, blah, blah. Like, everybody is meant. There's something in our DNA that puts us in a place to where it feels comfortable. You know, like artistic people. You know, don't limit your art vision to, if the first time you experienced it, it was painting pictures. Nah, look at every aspect of being artistic. You have musical, you know what I mean? You have visual, and you know, and these are the things that aren't taught in school, but it's the most valuable pieces of information that we actually need to have a successful, productive life in the human being experience. We're living life through the experience of a corporation. Everything that we do is taught. Your life is going to be based off of just a list of jobs, careers that only fit in a corporation. That's why I am against corporations climbing the ladder. No, you can, but understand you first. You don't climb nobody else's ladder if you want to be a boss. That's two totally different things. You know what I mean? If you are searching to be the highest in a position, no, search for what it is that you actually want to do. You know, what are you great at? If it's logical, you great at math and you understand how your logical thinking can add to it, but you don't want to be a boss, stop allowing people to tell you that you need to keep climbing higher.
Yeah. Real talk.
Yeah, find comfort in what you're good at. You know, I'm still discovering it, you know, and that's because it's never been nurtured, it's never been brought out, it's never been explained. And I think honestly that's the biggest thing that Yunik Foundation, Yunik Podcast is here to provide. You know what I mean? We're here to help you guys find who you are. F what they say, F what they think. Who are you? You know, we're gonna do a campaign on, you know, we looking for 100,000 people that's willing to be themselves. that's willing to be the best version of themselves. How many of them people are out there? How many people will actually sign up to find themselves? That's
right.
where fear comes in. A lot of people fear who they can be.
Facts.org. Again. But if only they knew. There's no look. What is nothing to fear but fear itself, man. Right? Nothing to fear but the actual word. That's just a word. I mean, listen, we all fear something, but that's something that could be. He just explained. You can get rid of that easily. You fear what you know you can be.
You know, it's crazy. Like actual fear outside of your instincts. Understand that there's a difference between fear and instincts. Your instincts have developed for hundreds of thousands of years. That's what comes naturally.
Yeah.
And those, it's not a fear, it's instinct. Fear was created and
with a whip.
Yeah.
All that shit.
Yeah, fear was implemented, man. But actual, instincts is how our peripheral was set up to see something move, and that's fear.
I like that.
And your instincts kick in to react.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
So no, I'm saying this should be discussed on a we can do a whole podcast on the versus fear versus instincts. Oh man.
Yeah. Right?
We gotta break that down.
No, that's true, because a lot of people they don't know how to decipher like fear from which, and the only thing we should be focusing on is our instinct. Like your body is created to do everything that it needs to do.
Yeah.
Anything that you're battling with your mind is what they put in. That's the, what I mean? That's where it's hard to fucking balance. Like, and we naturally would do it. If we went out there and we in the jungle and there's a bear that your fear is supposed to kick into, well, your instincts kick in, and that's where your fear is either fight or flight.
Fight or flight. That's what it is, man. My shit finna go dead. We got back on. We don't even know. Look, man, we don't know when to end this motherfucker. Hey, listen.
Yeah, no. This one was definitely dope. I think a whole lot of information. Hey, just wanted to make sure you guys know. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and don't be one of them emotionally immature people. I mean, or if you are, we invite you in. Let's all grow together. We're gonna get this together, man. Life is more than that.
Thank you. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
All right, man.
Peace. All right.